Hey, Christy Mattoon from Mind Rewire on this beautiful sunny day. As you can see, I'm sitting out here in the middle of our little window room. I don't know what you call this, but it's beautiful and it's warm and it's super hot. But I wanted to get on here real quick because I was just now reading some posts that are online, and I always get really great ideas from reading stuff that people throw up there. And so go ahead and like and subscribe, whatever social media platform you're on. I greatly appreciate that, especially if you're on YouTube. I'm really trying to reach that that next mark there, so I'm really trying to get it over 2,000 right now. I really appreciate your subscriptions, and if you're on Instagram, I greatly appreciate your likes on there too, and you're taking the time to click on my channel and go through stuff. I really appreciate this stuff. What I wanted to talk to you about today was I was just on something on Facebook, and I was reading through posts, and what was being said was that, they're doing the work, they're doing all the stuff that's required, all the meditations, all the breathing, all the stuff that's going on, and so stuck that it's like, how do you get out of the stuck place to have the work actually be effective? That's a valid question. I was there for years, so I know exactly what you're talking about. When you feel like you're so stuck that things just aren't moving, and it doesn't matter what you do, you just really have this deep-seated belief and doubts and all these kind of things that it's just not going to work, it's not going to get you there. And then of course, because that's in play, you're not going to get there. At some point, the level of feeling that you're trying to help kick everything into overdrive doesn't take care of the emotional value and the feeling that you're just not going to make it. There seems to be a break point, right? There seems to be this break point where one takes care of the other. And sometimes the stuff is so deep-seated, we think it's coming from the disease or the issue or the whatever is presenting in front of you, symptom, whatever you want to call it. We think that the issue, the belief is coming from that, and it's not. It could be coming from somewhere else. And that was the case with my junk. My symptoms were not the issue, and the feelings I had about the symptoms, some of them were the issue. The junk the doctors told me, those kind of things made a difference. And the belief that I had, the buy-in I had in that made a difference. But a lot of the stuff that I had, I carried from childhood, and that's kind of what started my ball rolling. And so figuring that stuff out makes a huge difference. You got to figure that out. You got to get on top of it. The practice itself makes a huge difference. So if you're struggling, I would encourage you to stick with it. But what we need to do is we need to go in and we need to do a quick reset, almost like a hard reset is what I'm calling it at this point, on your cellular system. We want to go all the way back to conception and give you new words, give you a totally different outlook with a totally different feeling. So at the same time, giving you both inside your system from the moment of conception, and even a little bit before, we pull in the energy. And so you can feel this new energy, you can feel this vibrancy of your spirit, of your soul. And then as you're popping into creation, you're the hand, you're the mouth, you're the feeling shooting into these cells. And so you can program anything you want to into these cells, just the way it happened the first time. So it's interesting, I think, the people who do the work and take the time to do that, the difference in the result is very interesting. And then the practice that comes after even is interesting because you did that part of it. So you feel different faster, you feel different faster. You get a different way of being and moving through life quicker. So we want to do that. We want to go into the system. We want to change that level of programming all the way at conception. One of the things I hear a lot is people will talk about, well, I just need to change. I want to change. I got to change this. I got to change that. The word change by itself, I have noticed for some people, seems to be causing a problem. If you're trying to change something, your brain goes looking for information on the word change. And if you're like most people, if you're like me, the second somebody says change something, I go into resistance. I just do. Even now. Not quite as bad now, but I still do. You tell me to change something, I'm going to go into resistance. And what happens is your brain's giving you information about how hard it is to change. Maybe it's information about your mother telling you needed to change stuff. Maybe it's information from, like, who knows where, an aunt, a grandma, like whatever, your granddad, whoever's feeding you this information about how hard change is. It could be your own information that you figured out from years of trying to change things and never actually getting it to change, right? So that can happen too. So when you're using the word change, I would say be careful, get leery of that word. And I would switch the word to something else. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to reprogram it, or I'm going to program it, however you want to say it. Maybe you can come up with an even better word. Comment below. Come up with words for me on change versus programming. Maybe there's a better word you can come up with. Something functional that gets you excited about doing the work. Something functional that gets you excited to do the work and gives you a reason to get up and go after it, because change is kind of like the word diet. The second you hear it, most people shut off. We're just like, ugh, here we go again. So that's what I would say on that. If you want, give me a yell. I'm at mindrewire.com. That button's still up there for a little 15-minute quick session. We can yak. I can tell you how I do what I do, how it works, what it looks like. Help you get that different feeling. And once you have that, that's what it's all about. On the inside to the outside, not the opposite way around. You cannot latch hold of something outside of you in your environment and make you feel good enough on the inside that it's going to carry forward through the rest of your life. If we change that vibration, give you a different way to feel, and then give you a reason to believe it. We got to tell a story to it. Your mind loves the stories. We got to give it a story. Your heart wants the feeling and your brain wants the story. So we create a great story to it. And then you walk it out. Then you go play with it. Then you go test it. Then you go put it into action in your life and you see what happens. And even with disease problems, even with disease symptoms, issues, whatever, if you can get that feeling and get it up and running and in the moment stay in the feeling, you can't go back to the disease process inside your head. You have to stay in that feeling in the moment. That's what conquers disease, right? It gets you onto a great road. Your body gives you that whole new set of chemicals. You get that great cascade of stuff down into your system, the enzymes, the chemicals, the hormones that start flipping switches and give you a whole different way to relate inside your body. So anyway, check me out at Mind Rewire. Comment below. Give me different ways to say the word change. See what you can come up with. Let's see if we can come up with some good stuff. All right, blessings and peace. Thanks again. Thanks for subscribing, and I will talk to you again soon.